Hi guys! Today we are going to be doing my 100 subscriber Q&A special. And as I say that, today I've hit 150, so I may be a little bit delayed in doing this, but that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and finally get this video done. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. I had so many questions, a lot more questions than I'd anticipated having, so I really appreciate that. So without further ado, let's just get going. So the first question that I got is, what book are you most excited to read to your son when he's old enough to understand? And I think that definitely is going to be Winnie the Pooh. It is definitely at least on that list. I had not, I just read Winnie the Pooh the first time this year. This year, in January, I think. And I did read it to him, but of course he's too little to understand. So yeah, definitely Winnie the Pooh. Also Narnia. And, just because I love those two books so much. And of course the Bible, obviously. But like as far as non-Bible books, Narnia and Winnie the Pooh, because they're just both such precious stories. Something I'm very excited to share with him when he's a little bit older. Alright. Next, I got the question, how would you teach others to look for biblical parallels in the books that they're reading? For that one, I'd say that definitely, obviously you need to be very familiar with the Bible to be able to recognize parallels. And then be trying to look for whatever themes the author is presenting. And if you're reading Christian fiction, usually the author's going to be pretty overt about those themes. Not always, but usually they're pretty overt, at least in all I've read. So, yeah, it's not normally too hard to find the theme. So yeah, be familiar with the Bible and just look for the themes. Again, usually the author's going to present that pretty clearly. So the first question was from Stephen. I forgot about that. And then the second question was from Angie. Next, I have several questions. And Angie also asked pretty much the same question that Stephen had asked. So I'm just going to keep going. Next, I have This Little Light Life. Asked several questions. Introvert or extrovert? Definitely introvert. Yeah. I can sometimes, I'm not even really good at faking extroversion, because I know some people who are good at that. I'm not. I can definitely, if we're talking about a topic that's interesting to me, yeah, I can definitely ramble on and on about that, even if you're pretty much a stranger. But otherwise, yeah, no, if I don't know you, I'm not going to be good at talking to you. See, do you have any siblings? Nope, I am an only child. I do have a few cousins that I was really close to growing up. I used to kind of joke that they're the best kinds of siblings because they're the kind I could send home at the end of the day so that we didn't get on each other's nerves too much. But no actual siblings. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? Oh, lots of things. I think I've wanted to be a writer, which I'm kind of working on being, for a while. There was a time when I wanted to be a missionary. I remember that. I don't remember anything else I wanted to be, but I know there were quite a few things that I definitely wanted to be as a kid. Let's see. Do you annotate your books? Not really. I keep saying I did annotate some for college, obviously, I highlighted important parts, and I have a set of Narnia, an omnibus of Narnia that actually I bought for this purpose, for my undergraduate thesis, which I wrote on Narnia. Are we surprised? No, we are not. And it's all highlighted up with quotes that were relevant to my thesis. And then my master's capstone was also on Narnia and Lord of the Rings. And so I already had a mass market paperback copy of Lord of the Rings that I wasn't probably going to read from again. So I was like, okay, we'll just mark these up. So I marked those up, and I marked up my original omnibus again with a different color for that. But that's really the main annotating I've done, is just school related. I don't really annotate most books. I do also have a note in that Lord of the Rings edition of confusion, because at the beginning in the party, Bilbo's birthday party, it refers to Merry's father talking to his daughter-in-law. However, this daughter-in-law is the girl who goes on to marry Merry after the Fellowship. I'm very confused by this. So that's the only other annotation that I've made that I can recall in a non-school book. That's the only non-school related annotation too I can recall making. Or I also mark out curse words sometimes. But that's not really an annotation. Who are your 3 to 5 favorite authors? Lewis and Tolkien, definitely. I also love Sean Lamb. She's a favorite author. Jane Austen, Melanie Dickerson. I can see Melanie Dickerson's book behind me. That's one reason I thought of her. Mesu Andrews, or Mesu Andrews, however you say her name. Tessa Afshar. Connie Lynn. That's how you say her name. Yeah, several there. That's more than you asked for, but I don't know if I can narrow it down anymore. So, yeah. Austen. Are there any other classics authors that I like a lot? I want to read all their books. I do like Charlotte Bronte more than Emily. Definitely. Wuthering Heights is a mess. No thanks. But Charlotte Bronte and I probably like Anne. I read Ten in a Wild Hall and I liked Anne from that. I need to read Agnes Grey is her other book. I need to read that one. I'm trying to think of any other classics authors that I'm missing. I like Shakespeare. So yeah, those are some of my favorite authors. Probably not all of them, let's be real. Ooh, after last year, the couple books I read last year, Sharon Hink, I just saw her up here in that stack of books. Sharon Hink might be on the list too. I really enjoyed the books that I read by her last year. All right, besides the Bible, oh no, I skipped one. What 3 book characters do you most see yourself in? Oh, that's a good question. I've got a few answers to this. I'm going to give 2 Narnia answers and then 2 other answers because the Narnia characters, I kind of feel like I'm kind of sort of in between them, I guess. Unfortunately, I'm kind of like Susan. And I think I'm also kind of like Polly. I prefer Polly, so maybe I'll just say I'm like Polly and we'll leave it at that. Polly Plummer from Magician's Nephew. Is anyone shocked that Narnia came up in that question? No, of course you're not. Do I wish I was Lucy? Yes. Am I Lucy? Unfortunately, no. But I wish I was Lucy. So Polly. The main character from Dreams of Savannah by Rosanna M. White, I think her name was Cordelia. I really saw myself in her, actually. Like, she was always telling stories and things, and to keep her, like, just to herself in general. And I really loved that aspect of that book. And then, unfortunately, probably also Catherine Tilney from Northanger Abbey. I don't take it as far as she does, but maybe, or Jo. Ooh, let's go with Jo March. Yeah, I like Jo March a lot better than Catherine Tilney. It's a much nicer character to compare yourself to. All right, so Polly Plummer, Jo March, and then Cordelia from, I think Cordelia was her name, the main character from Dreams of Savannah. All right, besides the Bible and Narnia, what are some books that have had the biggest impact on your life? Well, thanks for taking the 2 big ones out of the gate. No, the Alon series by Sean Lamb, because that was the first that I can remember. That was the first, like, non-Narnia Christian fantasy that I read. Yes, I read it before Lord of the Rings. I hadn't even seen I saw the Lord of the Rings movies when I was 13. I think I started reading those books, it would have been when I was 12? How old was I? I think I was 11 or 12. And I was like, oh wait, this is a thing beyond Narnia? So I would definitely say that series because, one, I have spent, other than Narnia, that is the world that I've spent most hours imagining myself in, and maybe Lord of the Rings. Maybe also Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings is also a good answer to this question. But then also, like, Alon was the first book that I saw that I was like, there's more Christian fantasy besides just Narnia? Wait, I could do this too? Like, I could write this? Yeah, that was a big thing for me. Another one that was really great that really touched me, at least, I don't know if it's had a big impact on my life, but it definitely, like, touched me and moved me, is Adorning the Dark by Andrew Peterson. That was a really good book. And then, do you read Christian nonfiction? If yes, can you please give us several recommendations? Not much, but the one I just said, Adorning the Dark by Andrew Peterson. I need to read his other one, God in the Garden. I've not read that, but I figure it's probably pretty good too. Let's see. I have a tag on Goodreads for Christian nonfiction. Actually, let me go to that tag and just see if I'm forgetting any. One that I just finished is How Do We Know the Bible is True, Volume 1. Published by Enters in Genesis. That one was really good. Let's see. I've got so many shelves, it's not even funny, but I have these many. Oh, anything by C.S. Lewis, pretty much. If you've not read any of his, though, start with... if you've not read any Lewis, start with... what is the book I'm thinking of? Mere Christianity. I also really like The Four Loves is really good. Abolition of Man. A Grief Observed. Problem of Pain is a little esoteric, maybe, but still really good. maybe not esoteric, scholarly. It's a little more scholarly. But so Problem of Pain and Grief Observed are two sides of the same, like they're both talking about the same issue. Problem of Pain is Lewis's early, like 30s, 40s thoughts on 1930s, 1940s, not in his 30s, 40s, to be clear. Thoughts on like why pain exists, you know, the question of how can a loving God allow suffering. And then A Grief Observed is actually when his wife Joy died. That is him working through his grief, and it is hard. Like if you are going through grief and you know, and you want to read somebody else who is going through that same sort of grief, especially if you've lost your spouse, I would recommend that book. That was really good. It's more moving than, or more personal than Problem of Pain. Problem of Pain looks at it from an academic perspective. Grief Observed looks at it from a personal perspective. All right. Next, Taylor from Tales and Treats with Tay asked, what state do you live in? I live in Tennessee. What's something you love about where you live? The food. If you live in the South, you love the food. Not the heat. I don't love the heat. But I do love that it doesn't stay cold for too long down here. I don't like the cold. I'd much rather it be warm than cold. I love the area. It's just so pretty. Where I live is just a very pretty area. Like the nature around us is just so pretty. And I live in like a, I don't know if I'd say, well, yeah, I live in a small town. And it's just like the very, you know, very much stereotypical, like friendly Southerners. So around here. So it's great. I love this place. How did you meet your husband? And also how, does your husband like to read too? These two go together, because the story of how I met my husband is really great. So my dad is a pastor, and he and my mom went to go interview at this church. Like we were thinking of leaving the church we were at and going to this new church. And, they went, and first time they got, or not the first time maybe, but after one of their interviews, the music leader had been there. And they got in the car, and my mom said to my dad, I think we just met our future son-in-law. Fast forward to the first time my dad preaches at that church, which is on a Sunday night. He's there, and he and I and this other guy stand around and talk about Narnia and Lord of the Rings for, it had to be at least an hour. So that's how we met at first. That's our first conversation was Narnia, Lord of the Rings. Again, shocker, no. And then we went one day for like them to do a question and answer, and they had a dinner for us, and he comes and sits himself down next to me. I'm like, oh, hi, what are you doing? Why are you here? I'm like, I was slightly uncomfortable, but it was fine. Then we eventually did go to that church, and it was funny. The first time I met my mother-in-law, she also thought, oh, he's going to marry that girl. So, sure enough, well, my mom took over VBS at this new church, which is Vacation Bible School for anybody who's not, didn't grow up in church or is not steeped in Southern church culture and doesn't know VBS. Vacation Bible School is basically like a thing where kids come and they, like in the evening, usually it's in the evenings, for a full like 5 days, 5 weekdays at a church, and like they have a Bible lesson, we sing songs, there's games and crafts and snacks. It's just a fun time, really fun time. Now at the church we'd been at previously, we didn't have enough people to actually do a drama. This VBS curriculum in particular had a drama, and we never had enough people to do it. But this year Mama thought we would have enough, and she thought, I don't know if my now husband can act, but I do know I want him to spend time with Morgan. And so she asked him to be in the play. Turns out he's an incredible actor, like very impressive. And my mom was like, oh, that was a good choice. But then the week before, he did ask me out, and our first date was the Saturday before VBS. We went to eat at Cracker Barrel, and we went to go watch Incredibles 2. So yeah, that's how we met. And so yes, he loves to read. He actually also has an English degree. His is actually creative writing, but yeah, he loves to read too. Doesn't read as much as me because right now he's working on his PhD for like seminary PhD. So he doesn't have as much time to read fun books as me. He reads boring books, but he doesn't read fun books. But yes, he does like to read as well. All right, what is something you did not expect about motherhood? That's hard. I think I would say I didn't expect, like, this is going to sound bad, but, you know, everybody talks about how, oh, you see the baby and you just fall in love immediately. And, like, I always have heard that. And, like, I knew in my head, yeah, I'm going to love this child the moment he's born. Even before, really. But, you know, I'm going to lay my eyes on this baby and, you know, immediately. But, like, nothing prepared me for how much I love this child. Like, I don't think you could have prepared me for that at all. He's just so wonderful. So, just, yeah. I don't think you could have prepared me for that. I don't know if I also didn't expect that, he'd be so attached to me, like or maybe not, he likes to be held, and he does not like to be set down. He does not like naps. He hates naps. He sleeps great at night, so I'm not complaining too much about the naps, but he hates naps. Unless he's being held, he hates naps. And I didn't expect his smile to be the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. And his little coos to be the sweetest sound I've ever heard. Okay, I'm going to move on before I just start crying about how much I love my baby. What is something you've learned since you started your channel? That I like to look at myself in the... I have my phone flipped, so that I'm, like, in selfie mode. I like to look at myself and not at the camera. So, if you notice me doing that, that's why. Also, that I'm not good at remembering to give summaries of books. I'm not good at that. Let's see. Something else I've learned since I started my channel. I mean, I already knew this too, but again, I've learned YouTube does not take good thumbnails. You've got to take them on your own if you want a good thumbnail. Yeah. What have you enjoyed most about having a channel so far? Probably just, like, the community aspect. Like, I love, every time I see a notification for a comment, I just get so excited. I love that. And every time my subscriber count takes up one more, I'm very excited about that too. I love the community aspect of it. And I love interacting with you guys. This is great. What's your favorite video you've done so far? That is hard. In fact, I'm going to have to just go look at all of my videos to see. Let me switch apps so I don't lose where I am. Switch to the YouTube Studio app. Content. Let's see. Oldest videos. Well, I mean, my Israel rating vlog, which was my second video on this channel. But, like, I did it from Israel. So, like, that's kind of... I like that one. I did a video called So You Want to Read More Tolkien, which did not do well. But I am very proud of that video. I had gone through and I've read almost all of the, like, extraneous Middle-earth material. And I laid it out in that video in the order that I think you should read Tolkien. Like I said, it didn't do well, but I don't care. I loved that video. I liked attempting to read the Chronicles of Narnia in one day and ranking the Chronicles of Narnia. I love tags. So, like, all of my tags I'm a really big fan of. Yeah, those are my main ones. I think. Pretty much every tag. I love tags. So, like, if you're trying to think of people to tag, and you're doing a tag, like, you can tag me. I love tags. So, please, always feel free to tag me. Even if you're like, I just tagged you in the last one, but I really think you would like this tag, then please tag me in it. I love that. I love tags, and the first time anybody tagged me was so exciting. I was like, oh, I just got tagged! Yeah, I was really excited. I told everybody. Like, I told my mom and my dad and my husband pretty much immediately. It was great. All right. Next was Steven again, and he says, what 3 characters, can be from different series, would you want to accompany you on a fantastic journey, adventure, quest thing, and why? Okay, so I'm going to think about this practically. Because practically, I obviously need to try to get characters that could help me not die. So, probably Aragorn would be a good one. I would say, yeah, Aragorn would be a really good one, or Legolas. Would I want Aragorn or Legolas, or Gandalf? Ooh, Gandalf. Let's go with Gandalf. I'll try to get some from different series, just so everybody's not, you know, if you've not read Lord of the Rings, you're not left out. So definitely, like I said, probably Gandalf. I don't know. Aragorn really seems like a practical choice. Or, ooh, do I want someone from the Silmarillion? Not Turin. Not Turin. I think I would die if I picked Turin. I guess I'll go with Aragorn. Aragorn, I mean, my favorite Narnia character is Lucy. So would I want to pick Lucy, or would I want to pick somebody more practical? Ooh, I'm going to pick Jewel the Unicorn so I don't have to walk. And like also, you know, safety. He's a unicorn. Oh, and then I could pick an Elven character. Yeah, I'm going to pick a Guardian. I'll probably pick Ren. Because Ren is my favorite Guardian. And like, she has a, like Aragorn's got the sword attack covered. And Ren has the ranged attack because she carries a crossbow. So those will be my three. Aragorn, Jewel, and Ren. Alright. Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails asked, favorite book so far this year? I'm so glad you asked this, Katie, because this has changed since I did my quarter-year crisis tag, which is great. My favorite book so far this year is The Green Ember by S.D. Smith. This was so good. I cannot wait to read the rest of the books. I'm super excited about that. It was just so good. Blew me away. It's a book about basically like Narnia, like whimsical like Narnia, but it's rabbits. It's so, I loved it. Loved it very much. Highly recommend. Do you have any pets? Yes and no. I have a cat. Actually, I had two cats. Their names were Edmund and Lucy. Yes, I'm sure you're all shocked. Lucy died a few years ago, but Edmund is still here, still with us. He actually, though, lives with my parents because my husband's and my first house was a parsonage at our church by the road, like right on a highway, and I was afraid that, because he's an outside cat, so he roams everywhere around here, and just all around the countryside. My parents live pretty far out in the country, and I was afraid that he would wander out into the road, and so I was like, he should just stay here. So he's their cat, but he's my cat. Yeah. And then, are you a seasonal reader? Not too much, no. I mean, Christmas time would be a great time to read Christmas books, and like we read, for example, we read Christmas Carol last year at Christmas, so that's definitely a seasonal read. But not too much, no. I can read most books pretty much any time of the year. All right. Lori asked, from classics, which character did you not like from the beginning of the book, and by the end of the book you enjoyed, and why? Ooh, so a character I don't like at the beginning, but I liked by the end. I don't know. My favorite classics are Austen, so running through my Austen, not Lydia. I didn't like Lydia at the beginning, and I still don't like her at the end. Kitty's better. Maybe I'll go with Kitty. Yeah, Kitty, because Kitty actually gets better at the end. Or, I'm trying to think of any others. I mean, Rochester from Jane Eyre, but like, he's not great at the end either. He's just kind of better. He's a little better. Darcy? Maybe Darcy. Yeah, Darcy. What? Duh, Darcy. That was easy. Darcy. Alright. Tammy at Protagonist Pub asks, are you a mood reader or a strict TBR reader? I am both. Which is a weird answer. But I am typically so my rule for myself is, because I don't keep huge quantities of unread books. I know lots of other booktubers do. That's fine. I just have never been able to like own that many that I haven't read. So, and I've kept up with myself as I buy them because I don't buy huge quantities at a time. So what I do is I arrange my TBR is like right here. So I arrange my TBR from like top of the stack is the one I'm least excited to read, and bottom of the stack is the one I'm most excited to read. And so I'll arrange it that way, and I read that in that order, almost without fail. But then when I am and I don't let myself reread unless I'm like having a specific reason to do it, like there's a buddy read or something, which would be a reason. I've never actually done a buddy read. I'm about to start a couple of buddy reads, which is really exciting. But I don't allow myself to reread for the most part unless this stack is empty. Because like I said, I keep a manageable TBR, so I keep my books, unread books, as low as possible. So that means that when I do have unread books, I read them in order. But then when I'm rereading books for fun, I just mood read. I don't care, really. Unless, like, if I'm reading a series, I will read the series through straight. Okay. So Samantha at Faith and Book. Well, Faith and Books. I think your name is Samantha. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I think your name is Samantha. Asked, when did you become a Christian? I became a Christian when I was 4 years old. I know that's kind of young, but I was doing a Bible study with my mom one day, and it was a study on the names of God, and it discussed the name Jehovah Jireh, which first appears in, I don't remember the chapter in Genesis, but it's in Genesis, the story where Abraham goes to sacrifice his son Isaac, but God, of course, like God tells Abraham to go do this, but then God provides him a ram instead. And the Bible study went into how the ram represents Jesus, and how Jesus was sacrificed for us. And I told my mom, the Bible study gave the gospel, and I think, which is, Jesus is the Son of God. He was born of a virgin, lived a sinless life, died on the cross to save us from our sins. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and then he ascended to heaven. And the Bible study presented that, and I told my mom, I think I want to be saved. My dad was working from home that day, which that was long enough ago that I'm kind of surprised that was happening. Or maybe he was just off, but I think he was working from home for some reason. And my mom went and got my dad. They talked to me. They were like, yeah, she understands. Like, she's 4, but she understands. And so we prayed right then and there in the living room. And I asked Jesus to be my Savior. And then I think when I was like 11 or 12, I think I rededicated my life because I wasn't sure if I'd really understood it so I rededicated my life to Jesus at 11 or 12. All right. She also asked, what book got you into reading? I've talked about this before, but it's the bunny book. Is what I call it. I think it's really called, what is it really called? What is the bunny book called? Guys, I don't remember what my favorite book as a baby was. What was it called? I think it's called I Don't Want to Be a Bunny or something. But yes, it's about PJ Funny Bunny. He decides he does not want to be a bunny anymore. And he goes and tries to live with the bats. He doesn't like making upside down. The pigs, they stink. The bears, he can't hibernate. The skunks. I think I already said the skunks. I love the way that it's worded with the skunks. It did not take PJ Funny Bunny very long to realize he did not want to be a skunk. And then finally he decides at the end that what he really wants to be is a bunny. So that's the book that I think really got me into reading. That's the book that my parents tried to skip pages. I think I've told this story before. I asked my parents to read this book to me so much that they tried to turn 2 pages at once. And baby Morgan knew that and would not let them. I had that book memorized. And so I said, no, go back. You skipped a page. So, yeah. Is there a book that got turned into a movie and you thought the movie did it better? If so, which ones? Actually, Cheryl at Candlewick Library put up a video about adaptations that were better than the movie, or better than the book today, and I left a comment on her video, and I said, I can't think of any, and I really can't. Like, for the most part, the book is I can think of somewhere like they're equal, but I can't think of anywhere the movie is better. Again, I can think of somewhere like I enjoy them on the same level, or like, they're, as good. But yeah, I can't think of any that are better. I mean, the 95 Pride and Prejudice is just the gold standard for adaptations for me. It's so good. Yeah, none that I can think of that are actually better. Yeah. I haven't read Princess Bride yet. Maybe if I read Princess Bride, I will think that is better than the movie. Or that the movie is better. Because, like, that movie is perfection. Favorite part of BookTube? Like I said earlier, just interacting with the community. It's wonderful. I love commenting on other people's videos, and I love it when people comment on my videos. I love watching other booktubers and getting book recommendations from them. I think I've started to become friends with several of them, so that's just wonderful. I just love this community. All right, and then Maurice over at the Writing Songbird asked, what is your favorite movie? I don't know. I have a hard time answering that. Probably, I mean, if I'm gonna Morgan about this, it's, everyone say it with me, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yeah, we knew. You knew that. specifically, obviously, the 2005 version, because that one is really close to the book. It does cut out a few of my favorite lines, unfortunately. But maybe that one. Maybe Lion, There's No Wardrobe. It's probably, I mean, that's my favorite. If we're talking non-Narnia movies, I don't know. I love Frozen. I love Frozen. That's probably my favorite Disney movie. Yes, I know everybody says it's overhyped. I love it anyway. I like Star Wars. I'm the weird person who likes all of them, even though I admit some of them are not good. What else? What else do I like? I mean, in the Christmas movies, like I've talked about this in the Bible book tag, I think. I like Risen. I like the Kendrick Brothers movies. Those are really good. Paul, Apostle of Christ is another good one that I don't think I mentioned in that video. Yeah, so there's lots of movies I like. I like a lot of movies. Comfort food. Chocolate. Anything chocolate that does not also have coconuts. So, like, I don't like Almond Joy or Mounds just because I don't like the texture of coconut. Ugh. But pretty much anything chocolate. I love chocolate. Alright, and then which Narnia character besides Aslan would you say is your favorite? Thank you for adding that caveat, because I think I've said before, Aslan doesn't count because he's Jesus. Just because I feel like, you have to say Aslan. But if I'm going to say not Aslan because he's Jesus, kind of like, in the Bible book tag, there's the question of who's your favorite character in the Bible. Like, if you don't say Jesus, then, So, Aslan, but if we're not counting Aslan, Lucy. Lucy is just so wonderful. I just love that girl so much. She is so precious and sweet and good and kind. I love her. And then, and which one annoys you the most? Pre-redemption Eustace, I think. Probably. Or Eustace's parents. They're terrible. If we're not talking about villains, just like annoying, then yeah, probably those. And then also, this one is one that my mom actually asked verbally, but did not ask in a comment, even though she did leave one of these comments. One of these was my mom. She asked, and I thought of a good answer, so I'm going to use it. So sorry, Mom, but I'm gonna answer this question that you asked me. The question is, what classics character does your husband remind you of? And Henry Tilney is the answer. He is Henry Tilney. Like, just the sweet, kind, caring man who also loves novel. I think, isn't it Tilney that says the person who cannot find pleasure in a good novel is intolerably stupid or something like that? Like, he loves to read as well. So, like, he loves to read like me. He teases me, very good-naturedly though. And, but he's also like very, he can be no nonsense too when he needs to be. Like, he very much reminds me of Henry Tilney. Alright, that was a long video. That's a lot of questions. Thank you all so much for the questions. Thank you for 100 subscribers, now 150. Let's see. Do I want to have you guys answer any of these questions? Oh, what 3 characters would you take on an adventure? Yeah, we'll just say adventure. What 3 characters would you take with you on an adventure? Tell me that in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.